Let's jump straight into it here on the ETF cumulative flows versus USD chart. Now, what we can see over the past few months, Bitcoin has had a pretty torrid time, going from above $120,000 down to around $60,000. Now, during that time, you'd have anticipated institutions, large players, first dipping their toes into Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency space post ETF launch in early 2024, the first real test that they've had to see Bitcoin's downside volatility. Maybe start capitulating, start offloading, say, you know what, this is too volatile for me. Maybe we didn't get the upside returns we were maybe promised or expected. And that isn't really the case. If we look at the USD flows, we can see here that the net flows were around 64 billion and went down to around 55, 56 billion, which sounds a lot, but this is heavily influenced by the actual underlying price of Bitcoin. If we look at the cumulative flows in BTC, it tells a slightly different story. If we zoom in here, we can see that this topped out at around 768,500 Bitcoin in net inflows into these ETF products, and it actually bottomed out a few days ago at around 669,000, which is actually less than a 13% decline in assets under management Bitcoin in these ETF holdings, which is pretty remarkable to say that these holders bought an asset which went down 50%, and really only just a smidge above 10% of that was actually offloaded. Now, if you compare that to the short-term holder supply, where we're seeing tens and hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin actually changing hands at the first sign of drawdown, again, it gives us some confidence that these aren't just here for the short-term gains, that a lot of these buyers, and I know not every single one of these ETF buyers is going to be an institutional participant, but somewhere around 30% roughly are. They're not just here for a quick buck. A lot of them seemingly do have some long-term belief in Bitcoin as an asset, or at the very, very least are seeing it as a high-risk, high-reward asset within their portfolio and happy to allocate a small percentage to it and are ready to live with that volatility. And if we look at the Bitcoin Treasury companies, again, there's been some drama, I guess, over the past few weeks and months saying that these Treasury companies, looking at their stock price, have all plummeted and they're all going to start capitulating and folding in. But of course, strategy have continued to accumulate, but across the board, we're not seeing huge outflows from these Treasury companies. We're not seeing a great deal of them start declaring bankruptcy and offloading Bitcoin quickly, just trying to recover and do some stock buybacks, etc. Even Marathon Digital, we're looking down here at Coinbase, these are buying the dip, and we've barely seen any outflows from these Treasury companies. Again, indicating that these holders of some huge quantities of Bitcoin that we thought would be a huge negative downside sell pressure on the Bitcoin market at the first sign of drawdown and bear market conditions, again, still have this unwavering confidence in the asset long term. Now, what we can do is if we look at the ETF daily flows, we can again see that over the past few days, as I film this, it's Thursday, the 5th of March, we can see that we've actually had a multiple consecutive days of really strong, heavy inflows. Again, these buyers are buying the dip. They've seen Bitcoin start recovering some prices. We're now about above $70,000 as I film this. And again, many, many days of lots and lots of inflows. Now, the video that we released on Tuesday, which I filmed a few days ago, I said at that point in time that it was slightly giving me an uneasy feeling to see that the Bitcoin funding rates were still largely positive. We were seeing lots of retail participants still longing, still trying to catch a falling knife by the bottom. And of course, alongside the ETF buyers starting to have some net inflows, we're seeing some very heavy negative Bitcoin funding rates over the past few days as Bitcoin has rebounded from when I first filmed that video a few days ago to above $70,000. People now seem to be shorting the market. And again, if we just look throughout Bitcoin's history, typically when we see long extended periods of negative funding rates, it typically doesn't end well for those that are trying to aggressively short one of the best performing assets of the last decade and a half. Now, if we just quickly go back to this ETF daily flows chart, what we can see is if we aggregate and average all of these ETF flows over a 28-day period, which is something we've covered many, many times in the past, looking at a month or more precisely 4-weekly average, what we can see on this chart here is something quite interesting. We had a big, steady, consistent amount of outflows as Bitcoin first retraced around 124,000 to around 85K, which was pretty much on par with the deepest retracement we'd had, or the most consecutive, consistent amount of outflows we'd seen in these ETF products. But now we've actually seen almost a bit of a divergence. Now, what this means is as Bitcoin prices moved lower, we're actually seeing less outflows. which signifies that after this first big dip, again, we had the weak hands, those with low conviction, maybe in for a quick buck, start capitulating, start selling, maybe similar to what we had in this section over here. As Bitcoin had this first dip beneath $100,000, we had the weak hands start offloading, and then Bitcoin rebounded. Now, as we moved significantly lower, over $20,000 lower, we actually had significantly less average ETF outflows, indicating that, again, of course, we're having a few people who are maybe seeing a little bit more downside volatility than they were maybe prepared for. But again, this does give us some good indication, even just from a supply and demand economics perspective. We're seeing less Bitcoin hitting the open market. We're seeing these high conviction, long time frame horizon investors happy to hold this product. And as we've seen, this is actually beginning to increase. We're now seeing these people buying the dip. And another thing that I'd like to look into is, rather than just looking at the institutions on the ETF and Treasury company side of things, another one of the major influences on the supply and demand economics of Bitcoin is the miners, those who actually create new Bitcoin and as a result of this get rewarded in block rewards, transaction fees, etc. Now, a lot of them, just to sustain mining operations, will almost immediately sell a vast majority of the Bitcoin that they mine. And because they're very sensitive to the underlying price of Bitcoin due to the actual cost required to mine each Bitcoin, this is very sensitive to what the underlying price is doing. So as we did dip, what we can see in this hash ribbons chart in terms of price action is the underlying hash rate of Bitcoin dipped dramatically. Now, this blue line here is the 30-day moving average, and this purple line is the 60-day or 2-month moving average. Now, what we can see when this shorter-term 1-month dips beneath this 2-month, it gives us almost a short-term minor capitulation signal. However, when it crosses back above, it gives us one of the most accurate and long-term reliable Bitcoin buy signals, one of the hash ribbon buy signals. And what we can see after we've seen this over 50% retracement in the Bitcoin price action, even now, as we've just seen a few $1,000s reclaimed, I'm not saying we've set the bottom, of course, there's still further room to the downside, but the fact that we've seen hash rate begin to rapidly start increasing and actually print a hash ribbons buy signal, again, just gives us a little bit of confidence that miners are beginning to become a little bit more bullish on the long-term future of Bitcoin's price potential and profitability potential. And again, we're going to take this one step further, as we always do. One piece of analysis that we did a few months ago, which was actually trying to predict the Bitcoin bear cycle lows, is look at the production cost of Bitcoin. Now, this is the electrical cost to actually mine a Bitcoin. This is excluding that upfront hardware cost to buying these ASIC miners. But again, just looking at the raw electrical costs for Bitcoin. What we can do is use that data, or more specifically, the electrical consumption of Bitcoin mining, and kind of get a rough estimate of how much it costs to mine a Bitcoin. In this video of using maths and data to predict the Bitcoin bear market low, we actually did predict a market low of around $60,000 to $80,000, which is about where we bottomed out. I'm not going to toot my own horn. I've definitely made some mistakes this cycle. But when we look at the production cost of Bitcoin, if I just go over here to TradingView, what we can see, this orange line, the production cost, anytime Bitcoin gets close to this, and especially when it dips beneath it, you essentially get the opportunity to buy a Bitcoin for less than it costs to make a Bitcoin. Again, just from a pure economics perspective, this is a bargain price. This is the ultimate definition of a discount. We can see throughout all of Bitcoin's history, as we dipped beneath it in here in 2022 in this bear cycle, the FTX capitulation event, once we dipped beneath it, unbelievable buying opportunities. Most recently, during our long period of choppiness and consolidation throughout 2024, every time we dipped beneath this production cost level, it was an unbelievable opportunity to accumulate Bitcoin at, again, a discount that is so rare that you really have to pounce and jump on the opportunity. And what have we seen recently? Bitcoin has recently just dipped beneath this production cost, this electrical cost to mine a Bitcoin. And what did we do as soon as we dipped beneath it? Immediately have a little bit of a rebound to above $70,000. Now, again, this isn't signifying that the bottom is definitely in. What we could see is the hash rate continue to roll over, more miners capitulate, and this production cost continue to move to the downside, potentially something like we saw in the 2022 bear cycle. All I'm saying is this doesn't seem like a quick rebound in the Bitcoin price action. We're starting to see the pieces of the jigsaw coming together. True retail capitulation, which we covered in our last video, which I definitely recommend watching if you haven't. Institutional bullishness and accumulation. Miners beginning to get back their excited nature when it comes to the Bitcoin's future potential. And alongside that, Bitcoin coming to one of the most fundamentally discounted prices that it ever does throughout its entire cycle. And again, all of these, when you piece them together, it's just starting to look like these institutions have realized that accumulating Bitcoin now is buying at a real bargain price. And the fact that they didn't massively capitulate as we moved down over 50% in this recent downwards move, again, gives us some more conviction for the long-term appreciation potential for Bitcoin. So just to summarize, as Bitcoin dropped from over $120,000 to around 60K, institutional buyers barely flinched, outlining either their long-term belief in Bitcoin or at least signaling they understood the risk to reward and happy to live with this volatility to the downside, knowing that Bitcoin is one of the only assets that can produce hundreds of percent gains to the upside. What we can also see is that these big buyers are now accumulating once again and at a pretty rapid rate. And this is occurring as we once again begin to see funding rates consistently turning negative as retail begin shorting once again, which historically hasn't really been the smartest idea for most retail participants. What we can also see is that after a brief period of minor capitulation, they are now becoming more bullish on the future price appreciation potential for BTC. And as we've recently just seen a hash ribbons buy signal alongside Bitcoin dropping beneath that electrical production price, all of this is kind of coming together to give me at least some confidence that this is a pretty good risk to reward by the dip accumulation. Scale in whatever you want to do, dollar cost average opportunity for Bitcoin. And if you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. If you liked all the content here, then do consider becoming a site subscriber to gain access to live charts, institutional reports, TradingView scripts, API access, and a hell of a lot more, all for a fraction of the standard industry price. As always, let me know your thoughts below and in the comments on social media, wherever you want to comment. I look forward to reading and replying to them. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.